Hi everybody, this is your spiritual colorist and diamond painter coming through again with a flip through. And everybody knows, as mentioned in my favorite coloring artist, that Kerby Rosane is my number one favorite coloring artist. And his new book has just come out, Kaleidomorphia, and it is an awesome book because he celebrates all his wonderful work that he's done from a couple of his other books, as well as giving props to um, his people or his customers and the people that love him who have done coloring in his book. And he talks a lot about that. And as I got the book and start reading what he was saying, I really was like, oh my God, yes, I love this, because he wanted to give thanks to those who bought his book and even giving some tips on the colors they use and how they colored his page. This is one of the pages on the front cover, which is awesome. But his artistic, creative, genius mind is just awesome. He just has a wild and creative imagination. Doing Kerby's books can be a challenge, but I love the challenge because it's just so much fun bringing life to his pages and his artwork. And he does a lot of doodling, which I think are the cutest little, some little monsters and little doodles. So let's get to open up this book so we can see what Kerby is talking about. And I wanted to read this little brief thing he wrote. He says, diving into my doodle world where animals and mythical creatures come to life, otherworldly beings morph out of landscapes, and fantasy melts into reality. In this book, you'll find images by some incredibly talented colorists who have used a kaleidoscope of color to complete artwork from my Morphia series. Discover this color palette choices, blending and shading techniques, additions and innovations, and pick up some tips and tricks that you can use in your own masterpieces. You can also read my impressions of each finished piece, which explore what makes each colorist treatment work so well. These pictures, as well as a selection of my favorite pieces from across the series, appear in the coloring section, so you can complete them with your own choice of bright and beautiful colors. I hope you get inspired and enjoy bringing intricate illustrations to life with your own kaleidoscope of color. Kerby Rosane. And I thought that was awesome because he shares the colorists who've done these pages and how he felt about, the colors they used. This is the white snow leopard, and it's like it's a Christmassy scene, as you can see. It has the trees and the deers, and he has all these little doodles in there. And then there's a squirrel, there's a rabbit. Oh, you can see that. But this is a big page. Let me try to move this over just a little bit. Move my thing out right. And this is kind of a big book, so you can see both pages. But yeah, all the things with the Christmas tree right there in the middle. Then he got the mountains and the beautiful snow leopard. And they got the walrus down here and the fish. But it's such a beautiful page. And this was done by one of his colorists that did his book. And in this book, I don't want to read everything, so I'm not going to, but I just wanted to read exactly mostly what he had to say about why he did this type of book, celebrating some of the colorists that's done some of the pictures in his page that he really enjoyed. And he talks about much of the leopard has been colored in subtle pastel hues, using delicate shading to give the impression of texture and to create realistic looking markings on its fur. The lilac gray tones beautifully complement the purples in the sky. Mountains and trees blending from dark to light tones is achieved by gradually layering color using high quality pencils. The outer fur has been made to appear like folds of melting snow, with white flurry splashing off its body. And then he goes down to tell you that an element of opposition and contrast comes into play with a selection of colors for the alien creatures. Acidic greens and yellow make them stand out against the more camouflaged winter creatures. And that's this page that we just got finished looking at. And talking about they use the pastel colors and the greens, and that's just so pretty. And this picture is actually inside of the book. I don't know, I'm just trying to look at mine. I make sure y'all can see it. I'm just trying to move mine. Okay, yeah. can show you can see it, the picture. Okay. And then there's the castle that he has. And he talks about the shading of delicate hues to impression of the texture to create realistic looking markings on the fur of the snow leopard, which, like I said, is really beautiful. Then there's the castle, and he talks about the indigo blue and moving to a glowing yellow. This creates a rich and striking backdrop for the mystical castle. The castle itself shows further features of innovation. The gold metallic effect of the crescent moon is created by the colorist's choice of varying yellow and bronze tones. That's just awesome. I love this part. Right in here, these colors for the background, which I am not good at doing it. It's awesome. When you look at that, how beautiful that looks, and how the gold metallic around the moon, and how you get the little clouds with the purple. It's just awesome. So yes, and then we have this part right here where you see the gorilla, and then he has all the little dudes in the background with the castle. And then he has the elephant, someone to that. I do not have every book from Kerby. I don't have Anomorphia. I don't have Geographic Morphia. I don't have Wondermorphia. And I think those are the only three I don't have. Kaleidomorphia, I got World Within Worlds, I have Fragile World, I have. Those are my favorites. I'm not really the collector. I just usually get the books that I love and that interest me, and that have the pages that I would like to, learn to put color to and bring life to the page. This is really pretty. And if you look at how his book looks, this is like someone just discovered a mystical place, and there's a woman down here, and it looks so pretty with the shining. It's a gorilla, an eagle, and a lion face. And these are all done by colorists that he just loved the way they did their work in his page, on his pages, on his art. Now this page right here, I actually did this myself in Kaleidomorphia, and it's the phoenix, and he talks about black water-based marker for the background with additional specks of gold acrylic paint to represent stars using the bristles of the toothbrush, and the colorist splashed the gold flecks onto the page to achieve this beautiful and unique effect. The bright and highly pigmented tones use the bird's body contrast with the pastels and the circles behind it. I like that they give the information of what the artist used and the colors they used and the little techniques that they used. Like that's something to think about, using a toothbrush, kind of just to give the effects of the way they did the feathers or the gold. So when we're doing coloring and we're trying to be creative and we want to really stand out on how we do our art as adult colorists, those are just great small little techniques and stuff that I'm just thankful that he put all that in here. He talks about the colorist has used complementary blues and pinks to bring my doodles that morph out of the teal feathers to life. The circles behind the bird act as a stylus sun and could also represent the life cycle of the phoenix itself. The circle shape symbolizes immortality and rebirth throughout mythology, and this colorist artwork represents both these things. And that gives you also an insight of his thinking, how the phoenix represents life and rebirth, and that was his part of why he created the page. But the artist added to that with the symbolizations that he put with the little circles, because the artist must put the little circles that you see around the phoenix. And that's what he mentioned, that the circles shape symbolizes immortality and rebirth throughout mythology, and this colorist artwork references both these things. In addition of dot work to frame the phoenix lends an extra playful interest to the bird while enhancing a sense of motion and direction in its wings and tail feathers. This is a stunning representation of the phoenix through color, shape, and symbolism. So I love that. So that tells you a lot about what the colorist did to add to this beautiful picture. the little circles, which are like the circles of life, which you find in mythology, and you see as symbolism in a lot of different art. But the phoenix itself represents life and rebirth. So I just thought that was awesome that he explained all that in detail when you read how he feels about each picture. And a lot of these pictures I have in my other books, but I probably will start out doing this. This will probably be my first picture with the little mandrake. Reminds me of Harry Potter. When the woman pulls the mandrake out of the ground and they'll be making that. Sorry, I'm trying to make the noise that he made, but it is one of my favorite Harry Potter movies. The very first one, I believe, where she pulls the mandrake out of it and it starts crying, and they have to put the earphones on, and then what you call him passes out, get his name. I'll have to watch that this week because that was one of my favorite ones. But yes, mandrakes are beautiful plants. And we have a really sacred ingredients, and people have really loved mandrakes and used them for a lot of different purposes. So, maybe in herbalism and stuff. Yes. This is the picture I probably stopped on first because I just love plants. And there's the mandrake. And this is the rooster. There's the camel. Try to see that whole picture because this book is kind of, yeah. Sorry if my lighting is not that good. And there is the tiger. And on the other side you have the dragon. And they're like underwater. There's the owl of time and wisdom. And then he has just like the little different mechanical, like it's a mechanical owl, but also an animal owl. It's mechanical on one side, and then that reminds me of the Clash of the Titans, where they had the gold owl, and part of him he was a mechanical owl. And the guy that sent down the owl to help Perseus on his journey. Yes, it's all that kind of crap. So, it's because I love mythology and stuff. So, different stories that just adventurous. And then you have the swan, and the swan has the little ring and the crown, the jewelry around its neck. Then you have the turtle. This is the undersea turtle. And there's the turtle. I'm trying to remember who was the turtle. Oh, this reminds me of the Avatar, like the turtle. Or there's like they had the underground turtle that they had to visit on the Avatar series of the movie animation Avatar. But anyway, we're going to go to all that. Yeah, this is the island on top of the turtle, and it's like something like World Within Worlds. But and there is the little guy in a boat over here. Here's the volcano, and out of the volcano you see the fire fox and another fox. When people do these pictures, they just truly amaze me of the way. I'm putting this over just a little bit. I like this with all the roses. Amazed me of how beautiful. Because I like doing different. I don't always like doing normal, like something that just looks the same. Like instead of make these roses just red, you can make them colors, mix them with colors, by blending. And I have seen roses that were bleeding. I like stuff like that. There's a little spider in there you wouldn't find. He hides stuff also inside of his books that you would just never think that was in there. There's a city, and here's all the mountains and the trees. And Kerby is really much into like environmental stuff, and he's really much into like saving animals that are extinct at the moment. When you look at this, I can think about how we chop down all the natural habitat of life, like the trees and all that, just to build buildings. And then the animals lose their homes. So here he has like the water and how the natural habitat is overpowering the skyscrapers and all the buildings because they were there first. That's my mindset. That's the way I'm thinking. Just looking at the pictures. You get a whole story sometimes just looking at these pictures. I know I do because I'm a writer and I just have that kind of mind. Here's another one with the clock and all the little things with the little air balloon. I love this. This reminds me of Pac-Man. They go a little pinky or blinky, the feathers, the wings, on the other side with all the flowers coloring the time. So there's another part with the two rams about to fight. And this reminds me of Warcraft. It's like a Warcraft picture. I love Warcraft. That was one of my favorite movies too. And then we have the peacock looking extraordinary. I'm gonna do this one too. This is the one I have never done. I don't remember seeing this in any of my books that I have. Peacock. And then here's the picture we seen with the white snow leopard and the person that did that. Now let's look at that one more time. Look at that white snow leopard. Look how beautiful that looks. And if you get the whites and paint and the blue, and they said they did mostly pastel pencils and paint. I didn't remember reading about paint, but I'm sure some paint was in there. But they have pastel pencils as well as pastel paint. So, but just to do a picture like this and make it look this beautiful and do the eyes. I've seen how people can do the eyes and make the eyes look outstanding. When I do mine, I don't see a white leopard is one of my spirit animals. My favorite is the white leopard, the white snow leopard, as well as the polar bear. But to do this, I see something different. I see red, I see yellow, and I see black. Those are my favorite colors. And I've never seen any kind of red leopard, but that's the kind of image I see in my head. So when I do that, I really gotta take my time, because I have a whole nother thinking of what I want to make it look like. But yeah, you have to do whatever floats your boat. You don't have to do what everybody else does. You don't have to make your page look like all the other pages that you see other colorists do. It's the freedom of creativity and just being your own creative artist. Here's the upside down bat. My mother hates bats. It's pretty cool. Yeah, this is a skull and butterflies. I would definitely do this page too. Here's those snow winter, like, you know, the Bigfoot or something in the snow. You have over here, right there. And then you have the trees and the mountains. Then you have the castle. Then you have someone sitting here, a little woman. And you have this one, the leopard running, and other leopards, and all doodles. And you have the water, the wavy water. I'm sorry, I don't make sure y'all can see these pages. Sorry that my lighting is not as good as I like it to be. Hopefully you can see everything okay. It's like some underground sea creature. This is a horse. And all these little doodles, just to put all the colors in there. The two giraffes. I like that one. I've seen a lot of beautiful pictures with the two giraffes right here. Yeah. I've seen people do these two giraffes and just, it's look awesome. This is kind of like a snail. It has its own, it is a snail. It is a snail with its own mountain. This is probably World Within Worlds, where this one comes from. Then you have the horses with all the animals running together. The elephant, the giraffe, ducks. I had just seen a peacock fly. I was like, I never knew peacocks could fly. Oh, it's still one of my favorite birds to look at when you go to the zoo, because they're right out there. But I was just amazed. I was like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. This is another one, kind of mythology. Over here, the ram. And we got the other picture over here. When we see the elephant with the moon. I think that's this one right here. There it is. That's what someone else did. There's the picture. So that is this picture right here. See that? With the moon and that. And the stick. See the trees? And all this, the part. Now, this is what it looks like when it's done. Awesome. So you could use little stencils and make those little dots. to add to it. People do that a lot. I'm just learning to use stencil. These are snakes. Yes! And I love this. There it is. That's that picture. Sorry, I just gotta take back when I go see it. I gotta look at the first glimpse of. There it is. The castle, the moon. That's just beautiful. And then here is the picture itself that you can do of the castle and the moon. Look how beautiful he made the stars and the galaxy. See, they probably added that part to it because there's no galaxy. The galaxy is there. This part is there. So they added stuff like, you know, people draw their pictures in. You actually have stencils that you can actually take, put on the page, color with chalk or paint, and it will end up right on the page. So you can take a stencil, put it right over here of the planet, and make it look like that. Then color it and paint it in. And that's what a lot of people are doing. Put those little stars up in there, as we were seeing, like all these little dots, the little stars. But you use stencil, and you make the little stars right there with the stencil, and you just kind of add that right there, right inside the page. So a lot of people do that. And then we have the mountains with all the air balloons. Yeah. So, I just skip the page. No. These pages are nice and thick. So this that's the parrot or eagle. All the birds and little things coming out of it. And these are a lot of time. All these pictures are in some of his other like Kaleidomorphia, which I told you I don't have. Wondermorphia. So I like looking at pictures that I have not usually seen in his other books because I don't have those books. But when the people do the dragon with the eye, oh, stunning. I have to do that one day and just do it with some paint and take my time. You probably won't see that until next year because I'm not gonna just jump into it. I'm trying to be patient. Gotta do things with patience and just take your time. And yes, this is awesome. Underground. Here is this picture. I just saw someone, and I think I don't know, it's coloring with tea. I was doing this gorilla, his face. Let's look at him again. Let's go back. And I love that. I don't know if I want to do all those colors, but I definitely would do it a really colorful face because I like being different. I love the way that face looks for the gorilla. And when you do it, you can add some paint and some, make the face of different colors. And then you have all the little doodles.